Hello, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to implement reading the properties from the property files. So as you have seen, for disabling the logging in the burning wave, we have created a property file. So this is a common pattern you will find at some sort of property file. You write an framework or library which you are using. They can use this property to configure themselves. So similar way in Spring, a lot of property you also mentioned for different part of the application. So that we are going to cover. So let's say if we go to IRCTC and inside repository for connecting to our database, we will need a connection URL, right? But currently we don't have anything like that. So that let's assume that for connecting to Mongo, we need a connection URL that we want to read from the properties file. So something like this, we would need private final string connection string. Okay, and this we want from the constructor, and something which we should not be doing in the real world, but just to show here, whenever we are saying saving, we will show the connection string as well. Okay, this is just to show that this has been used from the property. Now if we try to run the application, it will fail. Bean creation failed, cannot create instance of string. Now Spring does not, or our Spring or our application context does not know what to pass here, right? So for this purpose there is specific annotation called @property. In @property you specify what is the name of the property. For example, if we see, this is the name of the property. So it is like something dot something. So what we want to say, db dot mongo dot connection hyphen URI. Cool. So we want to have property like this, and we want it to be used. And let me just copy this, and let's say we will keep our property in something called app.properties. Cool. And then we say MongoDB colon something like this. My database. Okay, fine. Now if you do alt enter, there's something from JDK internal that we don't need. We want to create our own annotation, and it will be inside di dot annotation. Cool. We want it to be available at the runtime, so that we added @target. We want it to be target as a with the parameter, not with the classes. So element type dot field constructor method, no, package parameter. Okay, okay, now it is saying something. So create method value. Okay, let's say default. What if I don't give anything? Okay, we'll always need a default value here. So whenever you are needing, you provide this way. Cool. Now let's run. This will not help because we have just created how we want to tell to Spring or our application context. Now we need to somehow in our application context, while creating bean, we have to see if any parameter is marked as a property. If it is marked as a property, we have to load it from the property. So before going that, uh, let uh, let's go there. Okay, get class. Okay, then we have something called create instance of, and then we have parameter. And in parameter we are doing this. So instead of doing this, if parameters dot I, or let's say call it parameter dot is annotation present. Which annotation? Properties. Okay, if that annotation is present, then we want to say something like this: application properties dot get. Okay, cool. And this will give us that property, and as of now we will deal only with the string properties. So that's a string value cool. We will load it from the application property. We'll put it into the args and we'll continue. So we need something called application properties. Create parameter application properties. Uh, application properties. Cool. Create this class. And then we have get. Cool. Okay, we need to provide application properties. Okay. Okay. So I would have something like this: load, and this should give me application property. Cool. And internally this will have private final a hash map of the string to string. I'll call it properties. Add constructor parameter done. uh I don't want it to be publicly constructed. Let's make this private. Okay, and then we have load. I want it to be package private so that only the application context class can access this class. Okay, sorry, this particular method only uh, application context can access it. I don't want to give this control to everyone, only I'll take care of creating this. So what we need is we need something like load or read lines from resource file, and let's say properties. This will give us a list of strings. We'll call it lines. We'll say hash map, let's say parse config or parse properties, and then we would want to say something like this. Okay, what I'll do is thread.current thread get context class loader get resource. Okay, if resource is null, then I would like to return a cool. Resource is not there, nothing to read. Okay, and that s out. Cool. Now we want to paths dot get to URI. It is saying there can be error while doing this. So handle this. Cool. So we write the lines. We handle the exception. If there is exception, we will return empty lines. Resource file. I'll say okay. Now we want to create parts properties. Now in parsing, what we are going to do is line on for. We'll get the line. We'll have hash map properties, and then we will be returning properties. So line dot trimmed. If it is empty line or it start with hash or comment, we will skip it. Otherwise, trim dot split this. Okay, I don't want to skip if there is property is not correct. I would like to throw new uh, what do you call this error? Application property load error. Okay, read class and I want it to be runtime exception. Cool. And if it okay, so now we got the key, we got the value. If any of them is empty, I want error to be thrown. If everything is fine, then I would like to put that in my property. Cool. So property we have kept we get the properties, we got the application properties. Okay, let's quickly verify this. We have properties. Okay, let me create just okay, there's some issue. Looks fine. And when someone says get well, let me probably put this in top as it is a public API. So this dot properties dot get value. Okay, now let's create a dirty main here. We'll say application properties dot load. Okay, so we are able to load it. Let's just change it to verify it is correct. Cool, it is reflecting. Now let's try to get something which is not there in property. Let's remove this. Okay, we get null. So that's whoever is using this, they can handle it. Okay, so it is working fine. So I'll remove the main. Okay, now we have application property in place. In app context, we are using the application property, and in okay, so let's just go to Mongo beginning repository. We are mentioned the property. Let's try to run the application and see everything is fine. So everything is fine. Booking and connecting to MongoDB with connection string. So this is also we got. Cool. In real Spring Boot, they handle different data type, not just only the uh, string type. So if that is of type int or long or float, they'll do the necessary type conversion. For our learning purpose, it is fine to only deal with the string. Cool. Okay, I think this is enough for this session. We will continue this in next session.